Our children are the future hope of Jamaica, and we must do all we can today to provide the right environment to develop their gifts and talents. Under the Child Care and Protection Act, children must be protected from all types of violence, and anyone aware of the abuse of children should report this immediately to the 211 hotline. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Jamaica Magazine. Of course, I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. Coming up in today's show, we continue to celebrate our children with another lineup of enriching content we are so excited to share with you. Stay with us, lots to discover right after the news.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, May 17, 2023. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is reiterating his call for more funding to support climate change adaptation among small island developing states, SIDS. Mr. Holness made the plea on Monday during a joint press briefing with United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres. According to the Prime Minister, there is need for a comprehensive approach to addressing vulnerabilities to climate change and external economic shocks. Part of that approach, Mr. Holness says, is a reform of the international financial architecture to address unique risks and challenges such as climate change. Even as he welcomed the United Nations Multidimensional Vulnerability Index, the Prime Minister insists that more climate adaptation funds must be made available to adequately address the challenges faced by small island developing states.
It is a moral imperative that more developed countries seek to ensure that countries like Jamaica, small island developing states who are vulnerable to climate impacts, are put in a position where they can adapt to the changing climate, where there is some reparations for loss and damage, and that we benefit from technologies that could mitigate the impact. And so we continue to work, we have been working, and we stand in solidarity with the UN system, and our voices will continue to work in practical ways within the UN system to achieve these reforms.
Jamaica has welcomed over 1.5 million visitors, with provisional gross earnings exceeding $1.6 billion since the start of the year. Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett provided the update at the 41st Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association CHTA Caribbean Travel Marketplace in Barbados. In celebrating Jamaica's tourism achievement up to May, he points out that the latest figures outperformed the projected target. The minister says there will be increased marketing efforts, the expansion of air traffic connectivity, and expanded accommodations to continue driving the tourism boom. He has also highlighted the Blue Ocean and Destination Assurance Framework strategies as strong pillars that are vital to the development of a resilient and sustainable tourism product. Meanwhile, Jamaica will be hosting the CHTA's 42nd Caribbean Travel Marketplace to be held next May in Montego Bay. The announcement was made jointly by Minister Bartlett and President of the CHTA, Nicola Madden-Gregg, during the Destination Update press conference in Barbados a few days ago. During this year's event, Minister Bartlett was given the President's Award for Caribbean Excellence in Tourism. The Jamaica Customs Agency JCA has rolled out its contactless clearance process option for non-commercial cargo. The full implementation of Phase 1 became effective on May 1, following a pilot undertaken from October 2022 to January 2023. The process involves customs undertaking inspections of non-commercial cargo without the importer or an agent having to be present for that exercise. Director of Cargo Imaging, Kingsley Henry, says during the pilot phase, almost 3,000 contactless clearance declaration submissions were received. He says the pilot confirmed the need to expand expand the number of payment options available to importers.
We want to get to the point, for example, we have been working on a payment application that would allow you to say anywhere in the world and pay. The person who sent you the barrel could also pay once the TRN is on the declaration. A relative who has a debit card or a credit card could pay on your behalf, and the agent could also pay on your behalf.
Mr. Henry was speaking on JIS's current affairs program Get the Facts recently. Other payment options being explored include the use of digital wallets and making more cashiers available at the JCA's outposts in Port Antonio and Mandeville. The other phases to follow are contactless clearance for commercial and air cargoes.
So it's a plan to take us all the way, because one of the things that we are confident about, that this is the first world standard for customs inspection, right? Officers need to be able to do their inspection in a safe, secure environment, and the public needs to be spared the hassle.
For additional information, email Jamaica Customs Agency at contactlessclearance@jca.gov.jm or call 876-922-5140-8. As government's public sector compensation review exercise continues, salary increases to the tune of $1.7 billion have been granted to members of the Political Directorate for the 2022 to 2025 financial years. The announcement was made by Minister of Finance and Public Service Dr. Nigel Clark in a statement to the House of Representatives on Tuesday. The new salaries reflect an average 200% increase across the board. The new wages take effect for the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister, members of Cabinet, Leader of the Opposition and other members of Parliament, as well as the Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. However, benefits such as housing and telephone allowances previously paid out for these posts have been discontinued effective April 2022. Meanwhile, commensurate increases were also announced for permanent secretaries, while the salaries of mayors and councillors have also been improved. In making the announcement, Minister Clark asserted that the entire public sector would be put in jeopardy if it were not able to retain its leadership and attract the most appropriate, experienced, and qualified persons to serve.
We have to be able to attract new blood into the leadership levels of the public sector, to infuse new ways of thinking, new ideas for the organization's own growth and development. And we also need to attract persons to leadership, whether those persons are internal to the organization.
Also coming out of Parliament, government will be strengthening road safety management as it seeks to reduce collisions and fatalities. Minister without portfolio in the office of the Prime Minister, Floyd Green, gave that commitment while making his contribution to the sectoral debate in Parliament yesterday. He says the $400,000 Safe Systems approach to road safety project, announced by the Prime Minister in September 2021, will address important facets of the Jamaican traffic environment.
We will be strengthening road safety management capacities by developing a comprehensive electronic injury surveillance data system. We will be carrying out a study to observe the attitudes of Jamaicans on the road. We will be also, Madam Speaker, purchasing new breathalyzer equipment. We have $73,000 US for that. We will be purchasing new speed enforcement equipment, $50,000 US for that, and we will be training our officers for the sum of $80,000 US.
Minister Green says the project is expected to run for over 3 years. And finally, the Ministry of Finance will be signing a transactional advisor in the coming weeks to support the continued implementation of the Community Wi-Fi initiative across the island. Minister of Science, Energy and Technology, Darrell Vaz, says this action will allow the ministry to meet its target for 2025-2026.
We have already earmarked $1.3 billion for additional community Wi-Fis in this financial year. So while we wait on the bigger picture of the national broadband, which will give connectivity to every nook and cranny of Jamaica, especially those in the unserved or underserved areas.
He was speaking at the recent launch of 3 community hotspots in West Central St. Andrew, where he says an additional 200 residents in the constituency will now be able to connect to the free service. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Labor Day 2023, that are the pre. Just mark down the date, Tuesday, May 23. Right time to plant a tree. Start weed out the place. Grab a lass, grab a shovel. so rough.
99.9% of shade where they bought from the tree them they round ya. Big up the people who plant up the trees years ago. Now we know say the action they wiser. More tree food security a run up. Go on in that the go plant a tree and make it come up. Shade it a go give we now the summer and go burn up. We a plant up the tree so we environment a turn up. 99.9% of shade where they bought from the tree them they round ya. Big up the people who plant up the trees years ago. Now we know say the action they wiser.
This Labor Day, May 23, plant a tree for life. Promoting climate change, food security and road safety. A message from the Labor Day Secretariat.
Who we are as Jamaicans is no doubt shaped by our resilient identity and our drive to be the best. We can all celebrate this resilience core at the epicenter of Jamaica's post-pandemic economic recovery. Watch how this growth mindset aligns with the country's biggest economic driver as we take you through the plans for the Ministry of Tourism's 2023-2024 fiscal year.
Tourism will be the biggest driver of our economic growth and prosperity, not just for now, but indeed for years to come.
To drive tourism's bountiful economic resilience, the Ministry of Tourism will strengthen social benefits for sector workers, increase accommodations, and secure more air traffic into the island.
The Government of Jamaica has moved in that direction. Housing for tourism workers.
The Ministry of Tourism, the National Housing Trust, and private stakeholders will collaborate to develop 2,500 houses for tourism workers in the next 5 years. New investors are also providing housing solutions, in addition to their hotel construction. Some of the investments include 1,000 worker houses by Hard Rock Hotel, 650 by Palladium, and 500 by Princess Resorts. The ministry will also model the government's social housing program to build homes for needed tourism workers. The Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, JHTA, will match the $100 million seed fund from the Tourism Enhancement Fund to initiate the project. 20 houses will be provided per year.
The workers won't have to pay for it. They are in a position of need. We know the need, we recognize the difficulty, and from their own companies, they will be selected.
The expansion on human capital development will continue, with more workers expected to contribute to the Tourism Workers Pension Scheme. Innovation and skills training is central to Jamaica's sustainable tourism development. The Tourism Innovation Incubator is set to spur fresh business ideas for the sector. The first cohort of 27 youth entrepreneurs will have access to a $100 million grant funding initiative to support their startups.
This investment portfolio that tourism is unfolding now is the largest and most impressive in the history of tourism in Jamaica.
That's 20,000 new hotel rooms to be constructed over the next 5 to 10 years. The developments will run island-wide and include 2,500 rooms at Bahia Principe St. Anne, 1,000 rooms at Harmony Cove in Trelawney, 2,000 rooms at Unico, Hard Rock Hotel, Casino and other resort developments in St. James, and 2,000 rooms at Princess Resort in Hanover.
Now that the runway has been expanded, and we hope to have that ready by summer.
New airline markets are being targeted in 2023, including the Arabian travel market. More flights are also expected from existing airline partners to boost visitor arrivals. Popular resort town Negril will benefit from major upgrades under the Spruce Up program. Other upgrades in the government's comprehensive development plan include an international airport, a public beach park and craft village. The Royal Palm Reserve will also be restored, as a joint project with the United Nations Environment Program UNEP. Additionally, under the Spruce Up Jamaica program, $4 million will be allocated to each constituency for community development projects. Other major upgrades include the restoration of 3 public beaches by 2024.
I think we have a duty to ensure that persons entering this space follow the rules and are respectful of the importance of law and order.
The ministry is formulating stronger protocols for public order within tourism spaces through the development of Jamaica's Destination Assurance Policy. Cultivating more financial solutions for small and medium enterprises in the tourism space and strengthening tourism linkages for farmers, the ministry commits to ensuring all Jamaicans get a fair share of the tourism pie. The government is committing billions of dollars to ensuring Jamaica's tourism engine is strong as it builds Jamaica's destination assurance.
We will continue to push forward with the key priority projects and initiatives to shape tourism governance infrastructure to boost the sustainable development of the sector.
Sign with me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Sign with me.
The office of the Prime Minister was quite busy this past week, and we have the highlights. I'm Vaughn Davis, and you're watching Jamaica House Weekly. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has appointed 4 new ambassadors or special investment envoys to attract investments to the island. Mr. Holness says the strategic move underlines the government's commitment to driving innovation, investment and economic growth, and creating sustainable opportunities for Jamaicans. The 4 ambassadors are Adam Stewart, named Special Investment Envoy for Tourism, Teresa Roberts, appointed to Culture and Arts, and Lloyd Carney and Dushyant Savadia, both charged with technology investment.
These individuals have extensive expertise and experience in various sectors and will bring a wealth of knowledge and a network of international contacts to their new roles. Their primary objective is to identify potential investment opportunities and attract investment by promoting Jamaica as an attractive destination for both local and international investors.
The Prime Minister says the country is fortunate to have such highly capable individuals who are internationally renowned in their fields and possess a deep understanding of the investment landscape both locally and internationally. Last week also found the Prime Minister at the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF's Transformation JCF 2023 Expo. He pointed out that the country was witnessing the benefits of continued investments to transform the law enforcement agency into a modern, digital and technological force for good.
Whether it is motor vehicles, camera systems, the introduction of new motorbike patrol systems, the introduction of the new traffic ticketing system, new communication system, new uniforms, new processes, the changing out of the big station diary, massive investment in Jamaica's constabulary force. Everything that you see displayed here represents a 3-fold increase in the capital budget of the JCF in the last 8 years. The government is interested in ensuring that every Jamaican can get access to the information highway, because information that you convert to knowledge that gives you wisdom is power. It is not a waste of public resources to give every Jamaican citizen, as much as we can, access to the internet.
Making good on that commitment, the Prime Minister officially commissioned free Wi-Fi service for residents of the Tower Avenue, Coburn Penn and Penwood communities last week. Approximately 1,500 residents are now benefiting from the safe and secure community Wi-Fi established by the Universal Service Fund, USF. Prime Minister Holness urged the residents to use the facilities wisely for education and self-improvement. He stressed that the government was spending millions of dollars to boost public access to Wi-Fi in urban and high-trafficked areas as well as communities, as this was critical for Jamaica's development.
As the society moves towards becoming more online, we have to get all Jamaicans online. In the coming weeks and days, I'll be making certain announcements regarding the acceleration of Jamaica's intention to become a fully digital society. For those of us who are skeptical, who are afraid of it, we are here to support you.
The Prime Minister pointed out that the country was well on the way to making the transition.
We have established the National Identification System. We have put in place our digital currency. We have given directions to our ministries to digitalize their operations. Most of our ministries are now moving from paper-based systems to digital systems.
Groundbreaking for the new Houses of Parliament is projected for October or November this year. That update came from Prime Minister Andrew Holness last week. He was chairing a multi-stakeholder meeting on the government campus project.
Once that procurement process starts, or rather is completed and the contractor is selected, mobilization could be very rapid. So you could literally see soil turning by October, November this year. Now, once that happens, then we have to now also do the parallel activities, the widening of the road, putting in of the water infrastructure, dealing with the traffic issues, and the issues of acquiring lands around relocation. All of those things will begin.
Following Cabinet's declaration of the undertaking as a national strategic project, parliamentary approval will be sought.
For Parliament, we await two approvals. One is the approval to build, and the other one is build using a strategic project cover. So the strategic project, that has to be declared through the Minister of Finance, and I'm told by the FS that has been sent to the drafters. And we should have that back next week. So let's say by the end of May.
The Prime Minister said to get the project moving, Cabinet would also give approval for the acquisition of land to facilitate parking for the Ministry of Finance. The undertaking forms part of the National Heroes Park redevelopment and government campus project, which is a component of the master plan to redevelop downtown Kingston. The UDC will manage the construction of the new Parliament building. And this is where we close out Jamaica House Weekly. We'll be back next week with more stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
I've always wanted to be a doctor since I can remember, but starting my own business doesn't seem like such a bad idea either. If only I could know more about how to get started, or even better, other options to choose.
Hi, I'm Nero Christian, principal of Angels Primary School. Career Day is one of the most important days that we get an opportunity to step outside of the classroom, outside of the regular subjects, to show the students what is possible as they look towards the future 10 years from now. many of these youngsters will be entering the world of work, and Career Day shows them some of the options they have to be productive Jamaican citizens.
I can be anything I want to be.
In addition to the traditional professions, your teachers, your lawyers, your doctors, we now are utilizing the resources in our audiovisual department to show students how they can become bloggers professionally, how they can become programmers through coding, how they can become entrepreneurs where they develop their own ideas and skills as they enter the world of work.
So my job at heart is that I am a carpenter / furniture maker. And we're going to talk about the tilers, the steel fixers, the masoners, the carpenters, the block layers, and the architects in general, and how it is that we promote and encourage nation building within Jamaica.
It is important to go with the time, and it is important that they use their hands, skills, so that they too can become the entrepreneurs of tomorrow.
Some of our best career option, and I would look at the builder, because you know we always need houses to live in. So when you go into building houses, you are doing a great thing for our society. Also, we would look at the doctors, because you know persons get sick every day. We look at the nurses. We also look at the teachers, the firemen, the soldiers. They are excellent career choice because you will be serving your nation.
As a student, I am filled with lots of possibilities, and I am promised to be anything I set my mind to be.
I love Career Day at my school because I can get to see other careers.
And they would walk up to you and say, "Miss, when I grow up, I am going to be a doctor." And it warms your heart because you will say in a few years, "I taught that child at grade 2 or at grade 3.
When you see Angels Primary students in the high school, you can bet 9 out of 10 times they are your future leaders.
Anelia? Anelia? Anelia?
Going in medicine, that's definitely one of my dreams right now. And education, it will, because the whole education is not just school, you know, encompasses like teaches you things like discipline, you know, waking up on time, deadlines, getting the homework done, and just being respectful to authority.
Don't forget to visit our website at jis.gov.jm to rewatch today's show and browse to find more content to help you stay informed. You can also send us your feedback on today's show or any of our programs via email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. On behalf of the entire production team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Remember to always be a positive role model for our children. Thank you so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.